Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make this easy roasted tomato soup. And of course, I'm going to be showing you how to make it with different variations. Maybe you can't have any milk in yours, or maybe you're vegan. So I'm going to show you a few variations so you can customize it to how you want it. But no matter how you make it, this is going to taste amazing. And as always, I am showing you a super healthy recipe. So if you're new here, I'm Sonia. Let's get started on this roasted tomato soup. I know you're gonna love it. Now let's get started on this amazing soup I know you're gonna love. I start out with 6 tomatoes. I just happened to pick up some that were on sale. You could also use Roma tomatoes, heirloom tomatoes, and this would be perfect if you had some tomatoes that are kind of on the way out. Those would work amazing for soup. So if you have some on the counter and you're like, oh, maybe if I don't eat them, I have to toss them, let's make some soup with them. So you're just gonna quarter them up and throw them onto a lined sheet pan, because as these break down, it's gonna turn soupy and it kind of, could make a little mess, and it's easier to clean up this way. Then we're also gonna need some of the little small tomatoes, little cocktail tomato flavor bombs, whatever your store calls them. You're gonna need some of those too. And you can do a combination of tomatoes of whatever you would like. In the description box, I will put the recipe and kind of approximate what I normally use, and you can try to approximate yours too. I do use 2 bell peppers. I usually try to use like 1 red, 1 orange. Sometimes I mix it up. Maybe I'll use a yellow one, whatever my store happens to have. I do think these do taste slightly different, so keep that in mind. You want to make sure you get the membrane out. Like this one was on its last day. I had to cut part of it out, and I was like, well, this would be perfect for my soup. And you just need to cut out the membrane with the seeds, and then just cut it into strips and throw it into your sheet pan. These don't need to be cut perfectly, because I just put them into strips so they can kind of cook at the same time as our tomatoes. At the end, we're going to blend them all up, so it doesn't really matter. They just need to cook evenly. Then you're going to also need 1 yellow onion and just kind of quarter it. And then you also need just 3 cloves of garlic and just literally just throw it onto your tray. Then you're going to take your favorite olive oil and you're just going to drizzle it literally all over your tomatoes. Okay, I'm using just some Italian seasoning. It's Spice Blends. I like it, but any kind of Italian seasoning will work. We're just gonna sprinkle it across the top. Remember, good food at home that's delicious and healthy is not hard to make. We all can do it, so give us a try. With the Italian seasoning, I'll come up with a measurement, but I would say I kind of feel with my heart. I just, take it and just sprinkle it liberally on top of the tomatoes. You're gonna need about, I would say about 1.5 or 2 teaspoons of pepper. And you're also going to need the same amount of salt, maybe a little bit more salt. If you have to watch your salt, it's not going to make a huge difference. I would say 1 to 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Then you're going to take your tomatoes, you're going to throw them into the oven at 375, and they are going to roast for about an hour. When they're done, they're going to look like this. I wanted to show you so you know. It is going to look like a little blackened on the top of like the peppers and the onions, and you have not gone too far. You need to get it to this point, and so all the juices come out, and it really changes the way that the tomatoes are going to taste in your soup. So be careful when you do this part, because obviously your pan is going to be hot. You're going to go ahead and place them into a pot on your stove, and you're going to place your pot onto like a low medium temperature. Then we're going to take some chicken stock, and you could also use vegetable stock, or you could use bone broth. It's really up to you. We're going to do about 1.5 cups and add that in with our tomatoes. Then we're going to take a big handful of fresh basil, and it does need to be fresh. You're going to need to get it. I also use this Italian herb Better Than Bouillon, and I take a big tablespoonful of this and toss it into my soup. It kind of gives the soup a little more body. Now, if you can't find this, which I know it's not everywhere, my Costco actually happens to carry it, and I know Whole Foods happens to have it, and a few other places. And I do think it tastes really good in the soup, but if you can't find it, maybe just add a little bit of chicken bouillon so it can have a little bit more body, because we are making this healthy and we're not adding in any cream to this. Then you're going to take your immersion blender and literally blend it until it is a creamy consistency. I kind of still leave mine with a little bit of pieces left in it, but you can blend it as much as you want. See how it still has like a little bit of the pieces of the tomatoes? So I don't want it like totally soupy. I want it to have still like when you taste it, you still taste like a little bits of the tomatoes and the peppers. I think it tastes better that way. Then I wanted to give it a little taste, and you should give yours a little taste too, to see if it tastes like you think it should taste. You can adjust it. A little salt, pepper, bouillon, whatever you think. I would taste it and see what you think. Now, this is an optional part. If you can't have cheese and you don't want to add it, you don't have to, but I think it does really add to it. Is what I do is get a Parmesan cheese block, and I go ahead and grate some of that into the soup. And then we are going to let it cook on a low to medium heat, probably about 5 to 10 minutes, just so it melts into the soup, and it does make it a little creamy. But again, if you can't have it, it still would taste amazing without it. What I also do is take the rind of the Parmesan cheese, also throw it into it. Now, before you serve this, you need to make sure that you take those back out. And you could also let this simmer for a while if you wanted to get a little bit more of that rind flavoring. It also adds a little bit of saltiness to the soup, which I also like. It is really good. I hope all of you guys give it a try. It's really good with the grilled cheese or just some bread on the side, whatever you want. Or this could just be, you know, the start to a great meal. Just have your soup in the beginning. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys give this a try. I normally was trying to eat in front of the camera, but then I just get nervous eating. I don't know why, because I actually eat so much. I eat so much. But I tried it and I was like, oh my, you know. I was like, this is so good. It is so good. I hope you guys give this a try. And of course, I'll be back next week. I have some really good ideas for the next few videos. Make sure you're subscribed, because you are definitely not going to miss them. I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll see you next week. I love you guys. Bye.